Turn your living room into a joyful, hands-free playroom with CoComelon Sing and Play with JJ. Your child sings, moves, and learns right alongside JJ and friends, all on the big screen. It's designed thoughtfully to spark speech, rhythm, and coordination through songs and active play. Try an ad-free, safe, and interactive way to make screen time part of their learning and growth. Parents love how easy it is, voice-controlled and frustration-free. Kids love every moment of singing, laughing, and playing along. It's fun for them, and it's feel-good for you. Available now in the Volley app on your smart TV. Just search Volley in your TV's app store and start your free trial of CoComelon Sing and Play with JJ today. That's CoComelon Sing and Play with JJ, available now in the Volley app on your smart TV. Search Volley and start your free trial today.
Volley. Welcome to Homeschooling Outside the Box, the podcast that encourages and equips moms who homeschool an outside-the-box child. Hey there, this is Cindy Renna, and this is episode 4. So with the podcast named Homeschooling Outside the Box, you can assume I'm going to talk a lot about homeschooling. But before I get started with some of my posts on that, I want to back up to the preschool years. Now, technically, you're not homeschooling, which is why I think it's a good place to start. But I know for a lot of you listening, you do have kids under the age of 6 who are outside the box children, and you're wondering, what do we do with them? Especially if you've got big kids that you are homeschooling, you want to have some sort of a plan with them. So today I'm going to kick off a series called Nurturing the Preschool Years, but be prepared that this might not feel much like our modern education system's version of preschool. I'm simply referencing a time in a child's life before they start school and giving you some ideas about what to do during that time. So let's talk about how to homeschool preschool. In theory, don't worry, over the next few weeks we are going to get a lot more practical. So call me a grammar snob, but preschool, hyphenated, P-R-E hyphen school, and preschool, all one word, mean different things to me. Excuse me while I climb up on my soapbox for a moment. I touched on this on a post that I wrote called Homeschooling with Little Ones, but I'm going to refresh just in case you haven't read that. Preschool, hyphenated, means before school, as in you're not doing school yet. Preschool, all one word, on the other hand, is a phenomenon that has crept up over us over the last century, sending mothers into a tizzy and brainwashing us to think that our children need to be socialized in a large institution because what we are doing in our own God-given homes can't possibly be good enough. Preschool, hyphenated, is about learning through play. It's about the formative years, growing up alongside the example of mom, dad, and older siblings. It's about being raised by your environment in the most natural and nourishing place, the home. Charlotte Mason said in Volume 6 of her home education series, "We all know the natural conditions under which a child should live, how he shares his household ways with his mother, romps with his father, is teased by his brothers, and petted by his sisters, is taught by his tumbles, learns self-denial by the baby's needs, the delightfulness of furniture by playing at battle and siege with sofa and table, learns veneration for the old by the visits of his great-grandmother, how to live with his equals by the chums he gathers around him, learns intimacy with animals from his dog and cat, delight in the fields where the buttercups grow, and greater delight in the blackberry hedges." Miss Mason begins, "We all know," but I don't really think the collective we do anymore. In this information age, mothers are taught that more is better and even more is best. This primarily relates to socialization, academics, and extracurricular activities, i.e., the proverbial hamster wheel that we are called to as good parents. Preschool tends to be about performance. Preschool is one word, excuse me. These are called milestones, and let's be honest, there's a lot of pressure that comes with them. Is your child measuring up, or is he behind? Even if you find a strictly play-based program, do these even exist anymore? With very gentle exposure to academics, it could be too much too soon for your little one. Okay, off the soapbox I come. Here's a side note of reality. Ready for a full disclosure? All 3 of the boys went to preschool. Understand that this post contains my older and wiser advice. My 3rd son got sent when he was only 2 because I fell into perceived social peer pressure. I mean, everybody else was doing it. And let me tell you, mommy peer pressure is almost as bad as the junior high sort. I do not think I ruined my boys by any means, but I do wish I could go back and have a do-over. Instead of dropping them off, screaming and crying and reaching for me while everyone told me, this is normal, they'll be fine, this is good for them. I wish I would have packed my littles back in my minivan and drove us home. If you are sending your littles to preschool for a means of safe babysitting a couple of times a week so you can get a break or buy groceries in peace, that is another issue entirely. We all need help from time to time. Part of the reason I sent mine was to catch my breath. But another, bigger part was because I thought they needed it. I thought that I was incapable of giving them what was necessary for them to thrive at that stage in their life. I do not hold on to regret, but I do want to send a message out to you moms weighing the decision. Preschool is an unnecessary developmental step for our littles. A firm foundation. While we were distracted by painted finger turkeys, precious though they may be, and wearing red for Valentine's Day and bringing cupcakes for the Halloween party, I could have been devoting a lot more time to teaching them how to clean up after themselves or snuggling up for a mid-morning story. We could have been out on a nature walk, watching birds and embracing the details of the changing seasons. We were so busy during that stage of life trying to get out the door that there was little time to teach them how to dress themselves, tie their shoes, brush their teeth properly. Everything was so rushed in a stage of life that is meant to be so simple. Of course, the challenge is amplified if you have an outside-the-box child, because life skills and solid habits do not come naturally or easily. If you wait until 1st grade to do formal schooling, as Charlotte Mason suggests, that means you've got about 6 years with your child to build a foundation. After the foundation is built, then you can add formal academics, athletics, and extracurricular activities. Because really, you've got time. They are going to spend the larger part of their childhood with a focus on these things. So remember, for everything there is a season, and a time for every purpose under heaven. It's Ecclesiastes 3:1-8. Couldn't this season be its own instead of a rush into the next? So what builds the foundation? Nurturing your young one's mind, body, and soul. Now, some of this is going to sound schoolish, and I don't deny that there's a place for this in the preschool years when done gently at the child's pace. Every child is different. One of my boys did not show an interest in learning to read until well into the 1st grade, while my daughter is begging me to teach her letters at age 3. You know your child best. But the bottom line is that being in a place where you're pretty much required to learn how to read by the time you leave kindergarten can be very overwhelming for those children who are not ready yet. So here's a snapshot of what I'm going to cover in the next few podcast episodes. With the child's mind, the focus is classic literature and early math through play. When they're ready, you can add in things like memory work, ABCs, and handwriting. For nurturing their body, that's where we focus on habits, routines and boundaries, sensory play, and outdoor play. Nurturing your child's soul, we will focus on Bible, music, art, poetry, nature study, and family tradition, rhythms, and values. The goals for the homeschool preschool years. Goals for the preschool years revolve around growing the person. As a Charlotte Mason educator, the goal is always about growing the person, but there is a special time in the preschool years that allow you to start off on the right foot. Setting right habits in place during the formative years will make your homeschool run so much more smoothly when you do add in formal academics, athletics, and extracurriculars. This is a precious and fleeting time where your bond grows stronger with your child as their personality really begins to bloom, and it is full of opportunity to nurture the person they are becoming. Well, that's all for today. Thank you so much for listening, and make sure you tune in next time. I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.